Hi, I'm Cheryl Phillips. I designed this 10 degree for Creative Grids, and there's nothing like a 10 degree for making a Christmas tree skirt. The one that you see here is 55 inches, and you can find that pattern in this booklet, Starshine. In addition to the 55, it's got instructions for a 65, a 45, and a 25. So let's get started. Here are the fabrics that we've chosen for this project. We have A for the background, B, the stripe that's our focus, C, and D will create our extended circular border. The pattern for our tree skirt is in this booklet, Starshine. Before we get into the right page, I want to show you the quilt on the back cover. This quilt is also made with stripes. Turn to page 4. Striped fabric is an excellent choice. This chart can be used in two ways. Use the repeat column or count the possible strips. Either way, the center column allows you to determine the yardage needed. The green text with the bullets are for fabric B, the stripe. And here is A. Why does B come before A? Because the length you'll need for B, the stripe, determines the length that you're going to need for A. For a striped fabric, cut the number of strips listed in the chart for your specific stripe. The strips are cut on the lengthwise grain. Cut the same number of A strip as you did B strips. We're going to make several very long strip sets. Normally, we use the 1/4 inch foot as our guide, but for this particular project, working with a stripe, instead, I'm going to stitch right along between the red and the white. So we have our super long strip set, and we're ready to cut. On our 10 degree, you'll have 20 degree lines. It's long dash, little dash, black lines, and it'll say 20 degrees on it. Make sure it matches right along the seam. But also check the striped fabric to make sure it's exactly parallel. Then the third place I check is to make sure that it's right where I want it to be at the tip. The tip, the small 20 degree, the large 20 degree. Now we're ready to cut. I cut it with the tool parallel to my body. That's one of the things I just love about the Creative Grids tool. It's got that gripper back and it really helps. Continue cutting those wedges. Now I want to cut the wedges in the opposite direction. So I'm going to take my 10 degree, I'm going to rotate it around. I always like to double check myself, so I'm going to take that first one and put it here. Can you see the chevron that's being created? By placing this so carefully, then I'm assured of an identical wedge and an identical mirror image. That's the key to getting these to line up so well. Subcut the C and D strips into squares. When cutting these extension pieces, make sure that each square faces up. For the left C extension piece, rotate the wedge so the wide end is to the left and align the white lines to the bottom and side. Match the lower right corner to the little triangle. For the right D extension piece, now rotate the wedge so the wide end is to the right and match the lower left corner to the little triangle. So here we have our C and D piece and sew it together. Open this up. I will make one of these units for each wedge. Center this with the wedge and then I'll take these to the machine and sew them. So I'm going to put them together with the A side that's larger. I will match at this seam right here. Then I'll come to this seam and make sure that's lined up. Now we're ready to sew. I start at the narrow end and sew a 1/4 inch all the way down. So here's your wedge pair and we're ready to add the next one. So here you have your two pairs sewn together and they form this nice sharp point. Continue to add pairs until you have all 36. But don't forget that last seam will be left open. Our Christmas tree skirt is finished. It's bound in the center as well as the outside edge. This tree skirt is 55 inches. That's due to the built-in extension of the 10 degree and it gives us that nice border. We also have this one in more traditional colors. It is the Jettison pattern. Both projects are made with a Creative Grids 10 degree wedge, and both utilize the 20 degree lines that are on the tool. It's those 20-degree lines that give us that nice sharp point, or the spin here. The built-in extension and the 20-degree lines are only two of the many unique features of this tool. To see the others, visit the Creative Grids YouTube channel and watch the product video. Thank you.